welcome to my home and to my kitchen. Through this series of videos, I'm going to show you how to create delicious home-cooked meals for yourself, your family, and your friends. Today we're making red beans and rice, and I know it sounds really simple, but it is, and it's really delicious. And I needed something actually today. We're having friends over for dinner, and I've got a lot of work to do up in my office, so I needed something that's not going to take a lot of time in the kitchen. I can kind of pop in, check on, and have ready to serve tonight when our guest arrives. So let's get started. Okay, so what we're going to need to get together for the recipe are a few things. It's not that intensive, but I wanted to make one note. We're using bacon fat in this recipe. You don't have to, but it does add a really great flavor. You could substitute the bacon fat for olive oil or canola oil or an oil of your choice. So we'll need 2 tablespoons of bacon fat, about half a bundle of green onions chopped up, 3 15-ounce cans of kidney beans, rinsed and drained, 2 cups of chicken stock, 2 or 3 cloves of garlic, depending on your taste. If you want more, please, by all means, add more. We're going to need 1 cup of chopped red onion and 1 cup of chopped celery. I've already done all that. The important thing to note here is that everything's chopped the same size, small. 2 tablespoons of butter, Lea & Perrins Worcestershire sauce, Tabasco sauce, 2 or 3 bay leaves depending on their size, 1 pound of sausage, and a potato masher. Alright, so let's get started. To start, what we're going to do is add 1 tablespoon of our bacon fat to our pan, which I have over a medium-high heat. Okay, so the bacon fat has come to its liquid state. It's getting quite hot. So from the 3 15-ounce cans of the kidney beans, I'm going to add 2/3 to our oil. And what I'm going to do is just saute these in the bacon fat until they kind of become creamy. It's almost like making a refried bean. So we're going to cook these for just a few minutes. Take a look inside the pot. As you can see, the skins have all really kind of split. The creaminess on the inside is coming out. What I'm going to do is get my potato masher. We got those in there and mashed up. Alright. Now we're going to add 2 cups of the chicken stock. Get all that in there. We're going to let this boil. It's going to take about 10 minutes. We want this to reduce by half, the liquid to come out by half. So keep it over a pretty high heat, medium high to high depending on your stove, and let's reduce it by half for about 10 minutes. So while our beans are continuing to boil, what I'm going to do is add 2 tablespoons of butter to an already hot skillet. And then I'm going to add our 1 cup of the red onion and the 1 cup of the celery that's been chopped up. And the minced garlic, 2 or 3 cloves, depending on your taste. Gosh, it smells good. Okay, so our vegetables are smelling really great. They're starting to get a little bit tender, or quite tender actually. The beans are still boiling. I reduced the heat just a little bit to keep them at the boil, but not a raging boil. So I'm going to put these vegetables right into our bean mixture. Alright, and then back on the heat, what we're going to do is add our 1 tablespoon, the remaining tablespoon of bacon fat to that. Let that start to liquefy. And once it does, we're going to add our sausage and brown it before we add it to the beans. Okay, so our bacon fat has liquefied and come to a nice temperature. I'm going to add the 1 pound of the sausage. Your preference. If you have a butcher that makes really great sausage, by all means buy that. This is what I had today. We're just going to break that up in the bacon fat, let it start to brown, and then we're going to add it to our bean mixture. Alright, so the sausage is nicely browned. It's all broken up into little bits, which is exactly what we wanted. Alright, at that stage, we're just going to add all of this to our bean and vegetable mixture. Alright, when you get it here, what we want to do is add the remaining 1/3, the 15-ounce kidney beans to the pot. We want to add 2 or 3 bay leaves, depending on their size. a teaspoon of the Worcestershire sauce, or more depending on your taste, and a half teaspoon to a teaspoon of the Tabasco sauce. Okay, so we've got all this combined, the meat, the additional beans, the vegetables, the bay leaves, the additional seasoning. Got all that combined really well. I'm going to add the lid, slightly leaving it off on a simmer, so this stove it's like medium-low. I'm going to leave this to set on the stove for about 2 hours. Every 30 minutes to 45 minutes what I want to do is come back, stir it. If it needs a little bit more liquid, if it's getting too dense, just add a half a cup at a time of water. Get it to a nice creamy consistency, put the lid back on partially, and let it continue to cook. So we'll go on for 2 hours then. Okay, so it's been almost 2 hours, actually about an hour and a half. The beans have been on the stove. They're looking really nice, really creamy, great consistency. A little bit of soupiness to them, which is what we want, so we'll incorporate with the rice when we put it over it. I'm just going to keep those warm with the lid on it. What I'm doing is starting the rice in another pot. Rice is always the same ratio. It's 2 parts of water to 1 part of the rice. So what I do is take, in this case, 3 cups of water, brought it to a boil, added about a tablespoon of salt and a tablespoon of butter. Let that come up to a boil. Now I'm going to add 1.5 cups of the dry rice. Give that a little stir. And this is the key. First of all, use a really heavy pot, either a cast iron pot or an enamel cast iron or a really heavy stainless steel one. Once you get that all incorporated, put the lid back on, it'll start to bubble. And the minute you see the boil come back up, put the lid on and turn this down to low, a medium low to a low, and let that sit for almost exactly 20 minutes. Okay, so everything is done. The rice has been off the heat for about 5 minutes. What we're going to do is remove the top from that. Grab a fork and just fluff that up. It looks delicious and perfect. Alright, then over here in the beans, get the lid off that, give it a taste, see what we need to add. Salt and pepper probably. It's really good, but it does need some salt and pepper. So add some salt. Pepper. All right, so we are just about good to go. I'm going to grab a bowl here. Put in a nice couple scoops of the rice. Try to keep it in the bowl. Then top that off with some of the red beans. All right. That's good. What I'm going to do is take some of our scallions that we chopped up earlier. Those right over the top. A couple of pieces of some French bread. And we are good to go. Let me give this a taste. Y'all, it is so good. You have to make it for yourself, your friends, and your family. All right. So enjoy the recipe. Make it. Also email me, scottindenver@msn.com. That's SCOTTINdenver@msn.com. Let me know what you think about the show. If you want me to make some recipes for you, email them to me. We'll take care of it. All right, for now, goodbye. See you soon.